Well, today authorities have arrested a second suspect in that brutal Walmart parking lot beating. The first one, 34-year-old Motrion Williams, facing felony charges.
WSAV's Nakaya Harris has the very latest on the arrest and on this investigation that is continuing.
We now know the beating that took place in a Walmart parking lot in Pooler happened summer of 2024. Two alleged suspects are now behind bars, and the Chatham County Sheriff's Office says they have leads on several more. The Chatham County Sheriff's Office Special Investigations Unit, along with Rincon Police and K-9 partners, conducted an operation that led to the arrest of 26-year-old Ronnie Scott Jr. of Savannah on an aggravated assault charge for his alleged actions in the Pooler beating. Investigators say Scott had been under surveillance since last Friday and was arrested early Tuesday at an apartment in Rincon.
It's always good when law enforcement can come together and work together for one cause, and that's to protect and serve our communities. And today was an example of that. We reached out across county lines to other agencies where the suspect was located at the time. They assisted us, and we made the apprehension without incident.
Now, Sheriff Coleman tells me he will continue prioritizing transparency, telling me the public deserves to know what is going on in their own community. Reporting here in Chatham County, Nakaya Harris, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Thanks so much. A News 3 follow-up now on that deadly double murder on Hilton Head Island. Police records showing the shooter threatened to kill one of his victims 2 weeks before he actually pulled the trigger. A police report from February 2nd shows that Catherine Warrington told police her ex, Dustin Lindsley, chased her around the kitchen counter and was scared he would rape her. She claimed after she had a date with another man, Lindsay then took out a gun, pointed at she and her cat, and said, "If I can't have you, nobody will." He followed that up with, "We have two options. Either I kill you or I'll kill myself and kill you." Officers did say Warrington could press charges, but she said she didn't want to ruin Dustin's life. Lindsley has denied all of Warrington's claims, and after interviewing both of them, the Bluffton police officer decided probable cause did not exist to arrest Lindsley. Just 15 days later, he went to a rental home on Hilton Head Island, shot and killed both Warrington and David Duffy, then came back to Bluffton, where after a brief standoff, he killed himself.
This deadly situation did not start in the Low Country. Warrington and Lindsley had a history of domestic violence dating back to their time together in New Jersey. We continue our team coverage now with WSAV's Danielle Cobb with how experts say reporting domestic violence may not always be the end of the danger for anyone involved.
While police reports don't always lead to arrest or change in domestic abuse situations, Hopeful Horizons believes investigators are doing their best, but they're limited by the law. The domestic abuse organization says while there is a domestic violence law that was created to help victims and survivors, it's written very narrow with a focus only on physical violence and threats of harm. The agency says that limits law enforcement's ability to act, especially with the need for proof and evidence. But the agency says abuse isn't just confined to the physical. It also takes an emotional and financial toll on victims. Hopeful Horizons says to get help from agencies like theirs, you don't have to involve police, and the abuse doesn't have to meet the same criteria as the law.
We try to put laws in place to help victims and survivors and to help keep communities safe. But a lot of times, they fall short because, we might not have evidence. We might not be able to see things. So it takes a lot of folks working together and kind of thinking outside the box on how to really help support people who are in these situations.
Agency advocates say they work closely with local authorities, but they also respond to reports outside of law enforcement. And they remind everyone it only takes one concerned call for them to get involved and help victims reach safety. Danielle Cobb, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The Beaufort County Coroner's Office tells us a body pulled from the water today. Authorities have been searching for Dickie Phelps since he went missing Sunday night. They now have confirmed that he was that body. The DeFusky man's dog and golf cart were found near a county dock. The exact cause of his death is still being determined. Phelps was 63 years old. Now on to a WSAV exclusive interview with the Chatham County District Attorney. Comes as Wilmington Island residents have some concerns about a man who lives in their neighborhood.
The community has been living with fear and uncertainty for over 2 years.
An anonymous Wilmington Island resident tells WSAV that several people tried to get the attention of the district attorney and local police to get Thomas Heinley behind bars. Heinley's accused of breaking into a woman's home, hiding cameras inside, and watching her in the spring of 2024. We took those safety concerns straight to the Chatham County District Attorney, Shalina Jones.
Well, unfortunately, I think we live in the date of law and order where a crime happens, someone is arrested and detained and then tried to a jury within an hour. But the criminal justice process often takes a much longer time than that.
In this specific case, Heinley was arrested in April 2024, but the DA's office didn't get that file until late June of 2025. Heinley was indicted 2 months later. Jones says this was an efficient timeline considering the amount of evidence that police gathered. He's now expected back in court in March. Well, tonight, Statesboro residents will get to hear from their top official about the city's past year and future outlook. Mayor Jonathan McCollers will hold his 7th State of the City address. It's his first since winning a 3rd term this past November. City officials say a key focus of the event will be the city's investment into local youth and childhood literacy rates. Other topics include economic growth, infrastructure, poverty reduction, public safety, and housing. The State of the City is being held at the Emma Kelly Theater in downtown Statesboro. It's going to start at 7 o'clock this evening. WSAV's Evan Smoke was going to have a full recap for WSAV News 3 at 10 and 11.
And another address happening tonight, this one at the U.S. Capitol. President Donald Trump holding his first State of the Union address. This is of his 2nd term.
Top advisors want him to focus on affordability, but there's still a whole range of topics the president is expected to hit. Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley in D.C. with much more.
Top White House advisors have been pushing the president to focus on issues that matter to most Americans, like the cost of living and health care. President Donald Trump will give that speech tonight at the Capitol. The president saying he plans to cover all of his accomplishments since returning to office.
It's going to be a long speech because we have so much to talk about.
This morning, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt setting expectations ahead of tonight's speech.
You're going to hear a speech that is a celebration of 250 years of our nation and our nation's independence.
Top White House advisors want the president to focus on the economy and issues like affordability.
You're going to hear the president share the stories of everyday Americans who have benefited from his policies.
However, recent polling shows the president hitting some of his lowest approval ratings ever among most Americans.
This president has broken every precedent of decency that we have, has brutalized and made polarized our politics.
Many Democrats say they plan to boycott the speech, instead holding an alternative event on the National Mall to highlight what they say is the president's failure to address the real needs of the American people.
And so I'm not giving him an audience. I'm going to go to the alternative and talk about housing and the fact that people are having a really hard time paying for their health insurance.
That speech is set to get underway at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
You can watch News Nation's coverage of President Trump's State of the Union address on our new WSAV Plus streaming app beginning tonight at 8. You can access WSAV Plus on Roku, Apple TV, or Fire TV.
And the Democratic response to Trump's State of the Union will be delivered by Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger. The Democratic response will likely focus on affordability and lowering costs for families, protecting health care, and the personal freedoms of Americans. That's set to begin around 10 o'clock.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
This afternoon in our Time Saver traffic report, no major issues along Interstate 16 this afternoon in Pooler at Pooler Parkway. Westbound and eastbound lanes are flowing smoothly through this stretch of interstate. And as we look more on our maps, we can see that we are seeing some delays along 516 as you approach Interstate 16 in both directions, but no other major issues in that area along the interstates in the low country along May River Road and 278 through Bluffton flowing pretty smoothly. Just some minor delays along May River Road at Buckwalter Parkway, but as far as the drive heading to the west on Interstate 16 Savannah to Pooler, taking just 10 minutes at the moment.